So today is Thursday, February 15th, and the Saied Karamooz for Mayor campaign is a guest at It's Your Move Games, where we're doing a volunteer work night, and we're going to have a little talk with Saied. This is Saied. I'm going to try to get a shot of the back of the store. Back of the store is where we play games, and tonight we are working on our website presence. So Saied, could you tell us about this works night that you've organized for your volunteers?
I'd be delighted. The objective of the work night is to get everyone on the same page, help build the website, help with our outreach, help with all of the other coordination that needs to happen over the coming months. As you know, we mobilized this campaign back in November because we are intending to have a high-performing campaign that can win this election. It's an important election, and we have every intention of reaching out to every member of the community to get their votes.
Okay, at the Alameda County Green Sunday, you were talking about Oakland and the situation, people living under bridges, and you were kind of saying that it really didn't matter how you got to Oakland, you would see something embarrassing, and that a country like ours shouldn't have this kind of disaster and poverty. So why don't you tell us what you would do different? What would be a Karamooz mayor difference?
Well, the way to look at it is how are we spending our city's resources? First and foremost, we need to look at where the budget is. The budget, in essence, tells us where our priorities are. So we need to reprioritize our resources, our attention, and our work in a way that addresses the needs of all of our residents. As we all know, homelessness, just housing as a whole, is a big issue in our city. There is a solution for that. We need to embark on a very aggressive public housing approach whereby the city is actually going to have public housing built for people who can rent, who can purchase homes without having to compete with the people who are coming in this area with a lot of money.
So you don't feel that public housing is a drag on a local economy?
Absolutely not. It can coexist. We can have market rate homes that are targeted for the high income individuals who are coming into this area, attracted by the tech industry. But at the same time, we have a lot of people who need housing, and they serve our city. They serve all of us. And they shouldn't have to commute for long distances or be priced out of our local region.
Do you feel that affordable housing could be a benefit to the local economy?
Absolutely. And affordable is a kind of a squishy term. We really need to talk about low-cost housing. Low-cost housing needs to be done in a manner that, yes, people can thrive here, they can live here, they can work here, they can raise their families here, and cause a multiplier effect where people are all coexisting, both in terms of low income and high income at the same time. It's not an exclusive situation where if we do something for low income residents, that it would necessarily mean in any way that we would take away from the high income residents by any stretch. In fact, it would be a very healthy coexistence.
Now, you also want to be able to turn the expense of education into an economic asset. How is that?
Well, education, frankly, is something that we owe it to our next generation. That's where everything resides in terms of our health and the wellness of our country, let alone our city. So by virtue of having schools that are have robust programs with regard to language skills, with regard to vocational skills, after school programs, summer school programs, all of these things will enrich not just the children, the kids who are actually going to benefit, but the entire community. And that's going to have an uplifting effect on our entire city.
What about vocational education?
Oh, vocational, absolutely. Vocational is critical. Let's
Well, let me interrupt you there. At this point, the Oakland Unified School District has basically dumped vocational education. They've dumped adult education. The Laney Junior College, the other junior colleges have picked up some of the slack for vocational ed, and none of it for adult ed to really make a difference. So how would the city step in and work on this?
Great question. So, absolutely. What I was going to actually go back to is we got to look at the opportunities and jobs and things that are out there, right? So there's a tremendous number of jobs that cannot be outsourced. You cannot offshore, welding jobs. You cannot offshore plumbing jobs. You cannot offshore electrical, services jobs, right? So you have to think about these things that are actually going to generate work and, employ our people. Very, very, good jobs. So unless we're doing the right things and educating and helping train our young men and women, it's a disservice to all of us. So to answer your question though, how would we need money to do these things? And one of the programs that I propose is basically to take 30% of OPD's budget, which amounts to about $75 million, and split that three ways. To allocate 10% of that, about $25 million to job creation, job training, vocational training. Second part would be 10% towards housing, building homes, literally, and another 10% to jobs, training, and jobs, housing, and education. So that would be, having after-school programs, before-school programs, summer school programs.
Okay, so I think you tripped yourself up there. If I understand you right, you say you're going to take $75 million away from the Oakland Police, which is not going to be very popular with some people, and spend it on our existing schools for children, on adult education, vocational education, and on housing.
Yes.
Okay, and you feel that that's going to provide like a human infrastructure lift for our city?
Well, yes, but let's just take a step back, right? The money that we spend on OPD is intended to achieve public safety. All right, so let's kind of not look at the means to the end. Let's look at the end, right? The end objective of the money that goes towards it is to achieve public safety. I would assert that achieving public safety, it would be much more effective if we address our jobs issues, our housing issues, and our education issues. By virtue of doing those three things, I think we can achieve public safety much more effectively than adding more cops to the streets or having a larger, crime lab or having a, bigger OPD existence.
Would it be fair to say that instead of having a public safety because the police are repressing crime, we'd have public safety because we have a less dangerous society, a less dangerous Oakland?
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Okay, I think we can stop there. Now, one of the things we're doing tonight is getting you set up online. So this is for your new YouTube channel. So tell me, what could people do to help your campaign, or if they're not convinced, come learn more about it?
The number one thing is absolutely just go online, Everyone's Mayor at everyone'smayor.com or .org. It's just spelled out, Everyone's Mayor, no punctuation, .org. On there, learn all about the campaign, learn all about the principles, the practices, and the promises that we're making as a function of the campaign. Look for events, organize events. We'd be happy to come and meet with your group, with your neighbors, with your acquaintances, and get involved in any way you can. We welcome ideas, we welcome feedback, and we welcome your input. So whichever way you can get a hold of us.
And are you personally available to come to different groups that are working on different issues and see what they're doing?
That is critical. That is the number one priority of this campaign, is to learn what all these other organizations throughout the city are doing for the betterment of their neighborhood, of their community, all the things that are happening. By no means do we think we have all the right answers, but we know that there's a ton of right answers out there that we want to tap into and energize through this campaign.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.